Welcome to a wild ride through rock's most controversial era, the 1980s. From shocking lyrics to provocative imagery, these bands weren't just playing music, they were making waves, breaking taboos, and getting under the skin of every parrot and politician who was already terrified of rock and roll. In this video, we're looking at the 10 most controversial bands in the 1980s. The ones who faced censorship, backlash, and sometimes even legal action for daring to challenge the status quo. Number 10. The Dead Kennedys.
The song is called MTV Get Off the Air.
These punk rock pioneers were not afraid to stir the pot, and in 1985 they went full throttle with Frankenchrist. The album's release featured a poster by Swiss artist H.R. Giger, whose surreal and sexually charged imagery made the entire US government hit the panic button. The infamous artwork depicting sexualized bodies led to a criminal obscenity trial against the band. Lead singer W.A.S.P was charged with distributing harmful material to minors, but in the end, the case was dropped. Fans, however, were furious, not just at the legal action, but at the blatant anti-establishment message they saw as a bold stance for free speech. Frankenchrist became a cultural flashpoint for debates over art, censorship, and freedom of expression in rock. Despite all the drama, Dead Kennedys became the ultimate punk rock symbol of standing up to authority. They kept pushing the envelope, reminding everyone that punk wasn't just a genre, it was a movement. Number 9. Twisted Sister. Twisted Sister and their frontman D. Snider became rock and roll heroes, but not for the reasons you might think. In 1985, Snider found himself standing before the U.S. Senate in one of the most memorable moments in rock history. The Senate's PMRC, Parent Music Resource Center, had targeted Twisted Sister's hit song Under the Blade, accusing the band of promoting sadomasochism and violence. The band was caught in the crossfire of a moral panic, but Snider didn't back down. He fought back. Snider's testimony was a landmark moment in defending artistic freedom and rock's right to push boundaries. His fiery, articulate defense was the rallying cry that turned him into a free speech hero. D. Snider didn't just defend his band. He defended every rock artist who was under fire for speaking their truth. The incident became a symbol of artistic resistance against censorship, ensuring the legacy of rock and roll freedom would live on. Number 8. Judas Priest.
It's better about you, better than me.
If rock's moral panic needed a poster child, it'd be Judas Priest. The iconic heavy metal band found itself embroiled in controversy when they were sued over a tragic incident involving two fans, James Vance and Raymond Belknap, who allegedly committed suicide after listening to Better By You, Better Than Me from the band's Stained Class album. The plaintiffs claimed that the song contained subliminal messages encouraging suicide, leading to a legal battle that would haunt the band for years. The case centered on the idea of backmasking, hidden messages played backward in songs, which many believe was being used to brainwash listeners. Despite the trial's sensationalism, the case was dismissed, but it ignited an entire debate about the influence of heavy metal on young minds and its potential to cause harm. Judas Priest's legacy remains tied to the subliminal messaging controversy, which only fueled their popularity. They continued to rise in the metal scene, but the case left a scar on their genre, highlighting how far society would go to protect the youth from so-called harmful music. Number 7. Mötley Crüe.
Shout! 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 Shout!
The bad boys of glam metal weren't shy about their hedonistic lifestyles, and in 1985, their debaucherous lyrics and over-the-top antics pushed them right onto the PMRC's Filthy 15 list, along with the likes of W.A.S.P and Twisted Sister. Songs like Shout at the Devil featured violent and sexual imagery, which led to protests from religious groups and calls for censorship across the country. Their wild, party-centric persona was the perfect lightning rod for conservative backlash. Their concerts became targeted protests, with religious organizations decrying their corrupting influence on youth. Mötley Crüe wasn't just a band, they were symbols of rock's rebellious spirit against conservative values. Despite all the protests, Mötley Crüe thrived. They became living proof that controversy breeds fame. They leaned into the chaos, turned their bad reputation into a brand, and forever cemented themselves as one of the most outrageous acts of the 1980s. It's safe to say that the only thing more outrageous than Mötley Crüe's antics was their unshakable confidence in doing it all over again the next day, and selling a ton of tickets for it. Number 6. W.A.S.P. W.A.S.P. didn't just dip a toe into controversy. They dove in headfirst covered in blood and raw meat, bursting onto the 1980s metal scene with shock rock theatrics that made even Alice Cooper raise an eyebrow. They launched grenades at America's moral compass. Lead singer Blackie Lawless was throwing raw meat into the crowd, wearing saw blade codpieces, and singing songs like Animal, Fuck Like a Beast, which, yes, was banned from radio and pulled from stores. Naturally, the PMRC locked onto them like a heat-seeking missile. The track landed squarely on the infamous Filthy 15, and politicians, parents, and pearl clutchers everywhere were horrified. W.A.S.P. wasn't just playing metal, they were playing with fire. W.A.S.P. became a symbol of the culture war between rock and conservative America. The controversy may have cost them mainstream love, but it solidified their legend in the underground scene, proving that provocation sells, especially when it's this loud. Number 5. Slayer. Slayer didn't just flirt with controversy, they married it, took it to a satanic ritual, and wrote an album about it. Their 1986 masterpiece Rain and Blood was hailed by metalheads as a genre-defining classic, and by everyone else as audio heresy. With lyrics centered on death, warfare, and hellish imagery, tracks like Angel of Death triggered outrage from religious groups, Holocaust survivors, and censors worldwide. The song's reference to Nazi doctor Josef Mengele sparked accusations of fascist sympathies, though the band always claimed it was about the horror, not glorification. Let's not forget the graphic album art, filled with demonic figures and blood-soaked chaos. Slayer was banned from stores, condemned by religious leaders, and constantly under fire for promoting Satanism. Despite, or maybe because of, the backlash, Slayer helped birth extreme metal as a genre. Number 4. Guns N' Roses.
No one in a million.
Appetite for Destruction may be one of the best-selling debut albums of all time, but don't let that fool you. Guns N' Roses was a controversy machine, in a leather jacket. While songs like Sweet Child of Mine, Melted Hearts, another track One in a Million from their GNR Lies EP, had jaws dropping for all the wrong reasons. The lyrics were widely condemned for being racist, homophobic, and xenophobic. Axl Rose defended the song by claiming it was from the perspective of a character, but the damage was done. Several major retailers refused to stock the album, and music critics tore it apart. Suddenly, Guns N' Roses weren't just dangerous, they were national headlines. Despite the controversy, the band only grew bigger. Axl's bad boy image and the band's don't give a damn attitude became their brand, but One in a Million remains a permanent stain on their discography, a stark reminder of how provocative actions can ignite outrage and still lead to commercial success. Number 3. AC/DC. It's almost poetic that a band with a song called Highway to Hell would spend so much time dodging religious outrage. AC/DC, Australia's most electrifying export, was heavily targeted by the PMRC for songs like Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap and Let Me Put My Love Into You. The lyrics were called sexually suggestive, satanic, and violent, leading to boycotts and protests outside their concerts. But things went further when serial killer Richard Ramirez, yes, the Night Stalker, was found to be a fan of Night Prowler. Of course, the media frenzy was off the charts. Suddenly, AC/DC wasn't just naughty. They were being linked to murder. The band denied any connection, but the public image took a hit, and the phrase devil's music got slapped all over them. Despite the moral panic and fiery sermons, AC/DC rose to rock royalty, with their rebellious image only growing stronger in the face of controversy. Number 2. Venom. If Satan had a house band in the 80s, Venom would have been headlining nightly. This British trio basically invented black metal, and they made sure you knew it. Their 1982 album Black Metal didn't just push boundaries, it shoved them into a coffin, set it on fire, and played a double bass solo over the flames. From album covers drenched in occult imagery to lyrics that name-drop Satan like he's an old buddy, Venom was pure fuel for the Satanic Panic era. Religious groups condemned them, TV stations blurred their logos, and local governments tried banning their shows. Even though they weren't commercially massive, they terrified parents more than any chart-topping band could dream of. Venom inspired an entire genre of extreme music. Bands like Mayhem and Bathory took their blueprint and built it into something darker, nastier, and far more terrifying. But Venom lit the torch and then hurled it into the church. Now we'll be closing this video with none other than the legends. Number 1. Def Leppard. At this point, you're probably wondering, wait, Def Leppard? The arena rock kings with soaring choruses and stadium anthems? Oh yeah, turns out even glam metal got the censorship hammer. Their mega hit album Hysteria, 1987, might have sold 20 million copies, but not without pissing off a whole lot of parents along the way. Songs like Pour Some Sugar on Me and Love Bites were dripping with innuendo, and conservative watchdogs were not having it. The PMRC zeroed in on their lyrics, slapping them on the naughty list, and pushing for radio edits. Meanwhile, videos for their more suggestive tracks faced bans or cuts on daytime TV. And let's not forget, some retailers refused to stock the album altogether unless it came with warning labels. Yup, even Def Leppard got dragged into the Protect the Children firestorm. Hysteria became one of the biggest albums of the decade, despite, or maybe because of, the controversy. It proved that censorship couldn't stop a hook-laced power chorus if it had 1,000 lawyers in a Senate hearing. Now, Def Leppard may have looked like rock gods with perfect hair, but their lyrics still made America go, think of the children. So, which of these bands do you think took it too far? Drop your pick in the comments, and if we missed a band that you think deserved a spot, let us have it. This is the internet, we can take it. And hey, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe for more amazing videos like this.